What you're about to hear is not just a story, it's a pattern. A pattern hidden between data, silence, and decisions. And it begins in the mountains of central Iran, the Zagros mountain range. From above, it looks like any other ridge. Rock, elevation, shadows stretching across dry terrain. Nothing unusual, but in 2007, something changed. A structure was cut into the mountain. Not a road, not a mine. A tunnel complex, driven deep into solid rock, reinforced, sealed, precise. And then, nothing. For 15 years, the site remained completely silent. No visible movement, no change in thermal output, no detectable activity. As if it wasn't there at all. Then in late 2023, it came back online. No announcement, no explanation, just a shift. Thermal readings changed. And power began flowing again, and from that moment on, it never stopped. The Pentagon had already flagged this location years earlier, but they didn't strike it. They didn't expose it. They did something far more deliberate. They watched it, continuously. Analysts assigned it a specific label: uncharacterized, not empty, not inactive. Uncharacterized, meaning something is there, but no one outside can confirm what it is. Now imagine the site. A mountain surrounded by a double-layer security perimeter, an outer wall, then a wide surveillance gap, then a second barrier behind it. This is not standard security. This is not about stopping intruders from getting in. This is about stopping something from being detected from the outside. Multiple entrances are carved into different faces of the mountain. U-covered vehicles drive in, but on satellite passes. They are never seen leaving. They go in and disappear. Then comes the most precise detail of all: depth. The main structure sits approximately 40 to 50 meters below the surface. That number is not random. It is engineered. At around 40 meters, airborne thermal detection becomes unreliable. Sensors can confirm that energy is being used. They can detect heat, but they cannot determine the source. They cannot identify what is generating that heat. So someone calculated that threshold and then built the facility just below it. Not deeper than necessary, not shallower than safe. Exactly where observation fails. Only one ventilation shaft is visible from above, and a single power line runs directly into the mountain. Something inside is active. Something is consuming energy, and something is generating heat. But what it is remains unknown. An independent analysis by the Institute for Science and International Security reached a simple conclusion. The activity does not match any declared facility. This is the same organization that exposed Iran's Fordo facility in 2009. At the time, they were dismissed. Later, they were proven right. So this time, their assessment carries weight, and it leads to a second location, 30 kilometers from Tehran, Parchin, a vast military complex, restricted, closed to the public, closed to inspectors for years. Satellite imagery revealed a structure inside the compound, a large steel vessel, partially buried underground. Analysts recognized it immediately: a hydrodynamic test chamber, a structure designed to contain controlled explosions, but not ordinary explosions, extremely precise ones. The purpose of such a chamber is to test synchronization, multiple explosive charges detonating at exactly the same time, not milliseconds apart, microseconds. That level of precision has no practical use in conventional weapons. Artillery does not require it. Missiles do not depend on it. Standard explosives do not need it. There is only one category of application where that precision becomes critical, and it is not conventional. Iran stated it was routine military research, nothing nuclear. The International Atomic Energy Agency requested access. They were denied, repeatedly, for years. Eventually, under pressure, a limited inspection was allowed. When inspectors arrived, the structure was gone, removed completely. The surrounding area had been scraped clean, soil stripped away, ground leveled, fresh asphalt poured, new construction built directly on top. Someone had cleaned the site, systematically, deliberately, quickly, but not completely, because certain materials leave traces, even after removal, even after resurfacing. Environmental samples taken from the site revealed something unexpected: man-made uranium particles. At a location where Iran had stated no nuclear material had ever been present. This finding was documented, not disputed, but never explained. Under microscopic analysis, those particles revealed another detail. Their structure was consistent with exposure to high-temperature explosive shock. Not storage, not handling, not manufacturing. An explosive environment. The kind of environment created inside a hydrodynamic test chamber. The same type of chamber that once existed at Parchin and was removed before inspection. Now returned to the tunnel. Operation Epic Fury. More than 7,800 targets have been struck across Iran. Missile facilities, naval assets, command centers, air defense systems. Everything is being hit. Everything is being monitored. Except two locations, the tunnel and Parchin. Not struck, not publicly addressed, not explained. At this scale, nothing is missed. Nothing is overlooked. This is not an accident. It is a decision. Pentagon doctrine follows a sequence: monitor, characterize, decide. If a target is not struck, one of two things is true. Either it has not been fully understood, or it has, and the decision was made not to act. Now consider the second possibility. If they understand what is inside, and they chose not to strike it, then whatever is there is not a conventional target. It may be too sensitive, too uncertain, or too risky to engage. And that possibility changes everything, because the timeline matters. The tunnel remained inactive for 15 years. Then, in late 2023, it was reactivated. Security was rebuilt. Access points were secured. Materials began moving underground again. This decision was made before the war, before escalation, before global attention. Someone made a choice to bring that facility back online, to prepare it for something that had not happened yet. Meanwhile, at Parchin, construction continues, even during active military operations, even under full surveillance, and still, no explanation, no public statement, no official clarification. Every other development in this conflict has been addressed, explained, framed, but not these. The silence is consistent across governments, across agencies, across institutions. And that kind of silence is not accidental. It is controlled. So now the question remains: 40 meters below a restricted military zone, with power flowing continuously, with heat being generated, with access tightly controlled, with no declared purpose, what is actually inside that structure? Is it something still being developed? Something already completed? Or something that cannot be revealed without changing the entire narrative? Maybe the Pentagon still doesn't know. Or maybe they do. And the reason nothing has been said, nothing has been struck, and nothing has been explained is because the answer is not something they're ready to put into the public record. What do you think is inside? Let me know in the comments.